Alright, whenever you're ready.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another Tuesday Sports Recap on the 4 a.m. Crew podcast. It's Dom, and I'm joined by Colton and Cole. Make sure to give us a follow on all of our social medias. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at the 4 a.m. Crew Pod. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, follow us on iTunes and Spotify. Those links will be in the description. So, guys, how are your weekends?
My weekend was pretty good. College football was pretty crazy, and then Sunday I had to drive home, and it was pretty packed on the highway, and really didn't feel like driving, or not driving home, driving just back to school. But other than that, sports was crazy. It was a good weekend. How about you, Colton?
It was pretty fucking good. Watched some NFL and college football. Just chilled at the casa. How
Those are
was
the
your
best
weekend, Dom?
weekends when you can just literally just chill at home and just
Oh yeah,
watch
for sure.
football or
Just fucking
sports and just
munch on
relax.
whatever food you're craving. Just fucking watch some sports. Yeah. How was your weekend, Dom?
It was pretty good, pretty relaxing. Obviously, being the Thanksgiving weekend, extra break off of work,
True,
got to stay
true.
home,
I've already
watch sports
forgotten
all
about
week.
Thanksgiving. Not
I
even
know
that
it's
it's
kind of
this.
crazy.
Not
It's
just because
Christmas
it's
season,
this.
right?
Yeah, not just because it's Christmas season. I just like. I don't know. I don't think like when Christmas is over, you think about Christmas. When
Oh yeah, for sure.
Thanksgiving or Halloween or any holidays over, you're just
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, like I said, super easy, relaxing. But as we've all mentioned, it sounds like sports weekend was pretty crazy. So let's just dive right into that, shall we?
All right, let's
We
do it.
shall. We shall.
I think it'd be a great idea to start off with the college football recap. So let's just go off with some of the not so important games, but I guess they're kind of important if you care. Virginia versus Virginia Tech. Virginia beats Virginia Tech 39 to
Oh yeah.
30, and they are going to the ACC championship against Clemson. Good luck, Virginia. That's all I have to say. Have fun
Yeah, it kind of
playing
sucks that
whenever.
Virginia won that out because I feel like Virginia Tech would have had a solid chance of maybe doing something with
I
Clemson, but
don't, I don't give them a solid chance,
Yeah.
but I guess they have a better chance than Virginia, which isn't saying much.
yeah, but hopefully Virginia can hopefully make them lose and Clemson's not in
Yeah,
because
fuck Clemson.
I don't think any of us really like Clemson.
No, they just don't deserve to be in the. I don't still think they deserve to be in the picture. They play a weak ACC. Yeah, they're undefeated, but they play a weak ACC, and I just haven't seen anything convincing from them. But who gives a fuck about the ACC? Let's move on. Oklahoma 34 over Oklahoma State 16. It looks like Oklahoma finally had a win where they weren't struggling and they weren't just. They finally came out the gates and they didn't have a close game, and I think that's something the committee wanted to see that they're capable of.
Yeah, they finally had an actual solid game that wasn't just one half. It was both, and that's great. That's just what they need to be doing now. You want to move on
Yeah,
to
and it came against a ranked Oklahoma State, which is also nice. Ranked
right? Yeah,
team,
I mean, if they keep
Yeah.
winning these ranked
not like
games,
an unranked team that Clemson plays all year. But
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
if they keep up with what they're doing, they'll be just fine.
Yeah.
so after that we had the disappointing performance of Minnesota against Wisconsin. Cole, you want to take over for that one?
Yeah, I mean, first drive, I thought Minnesota was gonna take it in the bag. I mean, just from the first drive, they looked amazing. First drive
Oh yeah,
straight to Bateman,
that first drive, I was getting excited.
dude.
Minnesota scores that touchdown. It looked pretty easy too, to be honest with you.
Bateman fucked them up. Nice wide open pass. I mean, it looked beautiful. And then
It was beautiful, man. It was a beautiful pass.
I don't know what to say after that. They couldn't score.
Uh,
It's just they couldn't
well,
get
they
their
looked like
offense going.
the true Minnesota showed up, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the Minnesota that they've been playing all year was the very first drive, and then other than that, it's the regular Minnesota. Yeah.
17-point Minnesota.
I mean, I kind of wish Minnesota would have won because just Minnesota hasn't been
Oh
that
yeah.
good in the past years, and then they'd go to a Big Ten championship. Then
I'm
they get
also
their
really tired of Ohio State versus
yeah.
Wisconsin.
It's just been the same thing. I mean, Wisconsin's gonna lose again. We all know.
And then Ohio State ends up cooking.
I mean, they didn't score a single point against Ohio State. It's
Then
just gonna be
again,
over.
we all know Ohio State is the cuck lord, so
Well,
I don't know about
Ohio
that
State
one.
plays so well in bowl games, especially the Big Ten championship. They play really well in that. Um, yeah. Any final thoughts on that game?
Minnesota rushing for against them. Jonathan Taylor had 18 carries for 76 yards. Not too convincing. But then they let Cone pass 15 for 22 for 280 yards, which has ended up costing them. I feel like they shut down Taylor a bit in the beginning, but then the 76 came later in the half. I feel like their defense just didn't show up full game, and then their offense is just non-existent after that first touchdown.
Oh yeah,
Very
I
disappointing.
want to talk about Minnesota's defense in the first bit of it. They were playing very well. Their defense was
Hey,
on
first half
point.
10-7. That's how it ended. 10-7. Great defensive half.
Yeah, but Minnesota, I don't know if they just got tired. I don't really know
Maybe
what,
the moment got to him. I don't know.
but
Well, yeah, they just came off of playing Northwestern the week before, didn't they? So they were probably taking them lightly. No,
I don't know if they take this
probably
game
didn't go in
lightly. I
there.
felt like this was like
Their game, fine. This is probably their biggest game in the last
they just
5 years,
didn't
10
have
years.
they just
I don't
didn't
know.
have it in the second half. They were playing
Which
great.
sucks. But any Minnesota fan out there, any college football fan out there, this season and this ending to the season for Minnesota is nowhere near like a
Yeah, you
failure.
need to
This
be
was a
proud.
huge success.
You need to be proud of Minnesota and what the coach has done the past couple of years, bringing Minnesota back into
Oh, yeah.
football.
PJ Fleck is a great coach.
Dude, Minnesota is going to be a top tier team, as they were this year, next year, and the years to come.
Without a doubt.
He's definitely. There's nothing to be sad about, or
Oh,
you
yeah.
weren't even expected to be in the top 25.
Big Ten championship game for them in the near future, I would say.
All right.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You want to move on to Clemson's blowout?
Fuck Clemson, but sure.
Yep,
We
Clemson.
gotta.
We just got to talk about it because they're in the top 4 right now. Blew out
Yeah.
against South Carolina. Nobody really cares.
Oh, but don't forget Georgia. You lost South Carolina. What the fuck, guys? Come on. You're really not helping your case to convince me to be a top 4 team because you fucking lost to this fucking team.
That's true. In Georgia, they played Georgia Tech. Some people thought that was going to be close. That was a complete blowout
Yeah,
as well.
Colton. I think Colton was the only person that thought that game was going to be close.
Okay, buddy.
But enough with good teams playing against shitty teams. Ohio State, Michigan.
Well, there was one more shitty game, LSU and A&M, but that
Yeah.
wasn't a shitty team they played.
That's
A&M, I
true.
think, is a decent team, and LSU blew them out the gates, and it wasn't even close. Dude.
Yeah, I stopped watching after the first quarter. I didn't want to see
Which
the
is
team just get
insane to say.
massacred.
Then again, you
insane.
can't really say Texas A&M is a quote
No.
unquote good team because
You
like
can't
they've
say they're
been
a
playing.
bad team.
Well, they're not bad, but they're not good by any means. They've been playing like
mean,
really good teams all year,
I
and
would
if they
say
can't
they're-
beat them, then I wouldn't.
I guess you could say
classify
they're
them as
average.
good.
They're 7
I would.
5. They're an
I,
average.
let me tell you something. If Texas A&M was in the ACC, they're the second best team in the ACC, correct?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
They
it's-
would go
they-
up against Clemson in their championship for sure.
A&M is 7-5 in the SEC, which I think is very good considering who the teams they played this year. It was just insane. They're
Yeah, that's
A&M's.
what I'm talking about.
A&M's. Yeah, they're not a bad team though. They're losing to good teams. It doesn't make them a bad
And
team.
they're
It just
still
makes
on
them a
their
team that
rise
can't
up.
beat
They're
the big ones yet.
Yeah, they're still on their rise up.
A&M's 5 losses. Let's just look right here. LSU, Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, and Clemson.
Wait, that was that 1 week that I was talking about before the podcast. I think they played all of
Yeah,
them in
like,
order.
That's what we're like. That's insane. LSU, Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, Clemson. That's their 5. All 5 of their losses are top 10 teams, dude.
Yeah, that's
Like, so
kind of.
LSU is not, and like they only lost to Clemson 24-10, lost by 8 to Auburn. Okay, 19 to Bama. Georgia was a 6-point game, and then LSU comes in and blows them out, 50-7. That's a statement by LSU. That is a statement that they're not messing around. They're here to win. They're here to win the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I
as you
definitely
said-
feel like Ohio State, with their win over Michigan convincingly, feel
Oh.
like they don't get topped with that. They put on
Really?
they put on a show.
You think Ohio State's win tops the impressive win of LSU?
This week, yeah.
Yeah,
I
might
think
kinda have
that
to
I think
agree.
everybody needed to see that Ohio State go up against another top 15, top 10 team, and they blew them out of the waters. Yeah, that's a statement. And then if the committee's already ranking them this high and they blew out a top tier team like that, yeah, I don't think they're moving.
No, I don't think they're moving either until after the championship games. But really feel that Ohio State, you are correct, did show out in this game. I don't know if it was impressive as it probably is as impressive as LSU. I just really enjoy the LSU hype train right now because they're looking really good. But yes, you got to give it where it's due. And Ohio State went out and blew out Michigan, who was on a nice little streak of their own.
Yeah, great. It was a great first half, and then Ohio State made their adjustments and just blew them out.
How about Harbaugh after the game? Oh man.
I mean, Harbaugh, he's still trying to work out the kinks, and like
He was
everybody.
supposed to fix them though. He was supposed to fix them as soon as he got there. That was the expectation. He was supposed to bring Michigan to this next level, and they still haven't gotten over the hump of winning a game against Ohio State.
Yeah,
It's been what, 5 years?
he's still struggling against Penn State and against Ohio State. It's two big humps right now. I mean, Ohio State's at the. I mean, he really didn't come in at the best point. I mean, he's going against one of the top recruiting teams right now. Like
Well,
right
5 years. I feel like he should have done something by now, and he just hasn't.
well, when he first started out, he didn't have anything. But now he's starting to get his players in there. I mean, yeah, he's definitely got to figure it out. But everybody's saying that he needs to lose his job.
I don't know.
I don't think he needs to lose his job yet. He's
I'm not saying he needs to lose his job. I'm saying the way he handled the loss after
well.
the game.
I
When a
definitely feel
reporter
like they
blatantly asked him,
they needed to fix some.
Why is there such a gap? Why is there such a gap between Ohio State and Michigan? He called that an insult. I wouldn't call that an insult. I just call that a fact. There is an obvious gap between Ohio State and Michigan these past 5 years, and he has not fixed it. It's not an insult. It's a fact.
It's
Give us
actually
a reason
the
why you
last,
haven't been
it's
able to
the last
fix it.
7 years. So he's 0-5. So it's
Yeah, that's even worse. That's even worse.
if he makes it a decade, I think he's done. If it hits a decade with him, being coach, if he goes or 8-0, I think he's out. I think he'll be out of a job. That's a couple years into the future.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about the big game.
And yeah.
Alabama.
Ooh,
Auburn.
the Iron Bowl.
Yep.
Man, that was a rough one.
Two.
I was rooting for Bama. I don't know what to tell you. It's not like it was a
You
bad
can't really
game.
put as much pressure on the Alabama kicker, but you also can. I mean, two run back pick sixes. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Mac Jones. Besides those two picks, he looked pretty good, but those two picks were too costly to have. One of them,
Yeah.
he it looked like he just blatantly threw to Auburn, and that's just not what you do in a big game like that. Also, the defense, you can't let Auburn score in 48 and expect to win.
That's true. Their defense has been lacking this season. I mean, they lacked against LSU. They put up around the same amount of points. This game also, they definitely got to fix that. And one thing I noticed about Alabama, and it really hurts them in these big games like this, they never have a good kicker ever.
That's a problem for Saban. I don't know what it
And-
is. He
and,
can
well,
recruit
they-
just
well-
about anybody in the country but a kicker,
A
apparently.
reason is if Alabama's sitting there scoring a touchdown every time, why would you go there to be a kicker?
I mean,
You're not
you
showing
get some
off
nice
your
extra
talent.
point work.
You're not showing your talent off to any NFL team.
Well, I think after these last few years, you're going to be showing some talent by being the first Alabama kicker to make a goddamn field goal.
Yeah, they definitely need to find a way to get a kicker to want to go to Alabama because they play in
it's
these
really
big
hurting
games. It hurts them. So
Yeah. Speaking of Alabama, there's been some talks about Nick Saban.
you want to go into that right now, or do you want to go into the
Yeah,
top
I just want to
four?
go into that now because, I've been thinking about it. In the top four can wait. Nick Saban needs to be brought up right now, right this instant.
Okay, so Nick Saban has been talked about. What is this? The first year that he's not in the playoffs?
Yes, the first year Bama has not made the college football playoffs. First year. First. There's been, what, 5, 6 of them? 6, 7? Who knows? I don't even know. I'm
And then
just really...
People are also talking about how Auburn he's lost two of the past 3 games against, and there was another stat they talked about, and how how he got blown out by Clemson in the championship.
Oh,
So they-
one bad game
so
in the
people-
championship.
So people think that it's now the end of the Nick Saban era, and
Why?
they think it's Dabo Sweeney's era now. And I gotta ask the big question Dom just said: why? What is Saban has one bad year, and it's not even bad, and it's just because he's not contending for the for a playoff title. Like it's just ridiculous. Max, what's Max's
Max
name?
Kellerman. Let me read you this tweet from Max Kellerman. This is quote for quote. The end of the Saban era. He was the undisputed best coach for so long. Can't call him that anymore. And if Clemson wins the whole thing this season, Dabo takes Saban's place on the top. Hashtag Alabama Auburn. Max Kellerman. Shut the fuck up. You'll never be Stephen A. Smith. Fuck you.
I don't think Dabo Sweeney will be respected as a coach entirely. Like yeah, he's people respect him as being a good coach, but he's not respected as a Urban Meyer or a Nick Saban or any of these top coaches until he starts playing some good teams. Like yeah, anybody can play against a bunch of unranked teams and show out a undefeated season, and your your players are going to be perfectly fine when they go into the playoff, and they're top tier players that aren't hurt, so your team's obviously going to have a big chance of winning. So I feel like once there's no reason for there people to be saying Nick Saban era is over.
No, not at all. Come on. He's been to every single college football playoff so far. This year will be the first year he won't be in it. He's been to every college football championship except for the first one. He's won two of them. I don't get how he's falling off by missing 1 year. Like
then,
it doesn't make any sense.
And then another commentator, I think it was an old Alabama. I don't know if he still is an old Alabama radio host. Paul Fawn. What is his name? Paul Fawn something.
Paul Finnebaum.
Yeah, Finnebaum. Dude is an Alabama or old radio host. I'm pretty sure. And he was even saying the same shit. Like, it's not the end of Nick Saban. Nick Saban had one bad year. It's kind of sad that these guys think this because it's so stupid. It's so idiotic. I mean, a coach can have one bad year and turn it around. They're saying that he doesn't have the same recruiting, and it's ridiculous. I mean, he isn't still a great running back just because he didn't have Tua. I mean,
Let's talk about that. This game, they didn't have their top player of their team. All right, that's the leader. That is the shot caller. That is Tua Tagovailoa. That is a future first-round draft pick, and that is a huge loss for this team.
And talking for the future for Bama, he's thinking about going to the draft. So,
Well, yeah, Mac Jones better step it up, obviously. But that's another thing.
Tua's brother's going there soon. I don't know which year it is.
Really?
Yeah, he's expected to go to Bama. I don't know what year he's supposed to go, but I heard Bama has him picked up. So.
Bama also had a series of injuries this year to their defense. Let's talk about this. One of the big ones was Dylan Moses. This was the very beginning of the year. This is their shot caller, middle linebacker, projected big-time draft pick this year. That's a huge loss, obviously, on the defensive side. They started 6 freshmen against Auburn on the defensive side. 6. That is very young. That would explain for some of their hiccups, and that would explain for 48 points. It's not an excuse you want to use, but it's just like it means they're young.
They were young on their
going to pick it
defense,
up. They're going to pick it up.
They were just a young defense. I mean, it was just a season that didn't work out in Bama's favor. Young defense, your top tier 5-star quarterback gets hurt. I mean, and you got to go against the top tier LSU team and a senior fucking Auburn defense. It just wasn't the year for them. That's what I feel like, and I feel like Saban knows that it was a tough year for him, and he tried his best. I mean, that's all you
came
can.
Very close.
Yeah, he's definitely not the end of Saban with what he's been able to scrap out of this team.
Yeah, no offense to Dabo Sweeney because he still is a good coach. Unfortunately, he plays in the ACC, so he won't get the reputation. But he does have 2 championships, just like Saban. But
he can have
I just
conversations
don't think
and
he
talk
can
about.
overtake him yet. Saban has just done way too much, and he's not done yet. 1 off year, you can't make one assumption off of 1 year.
I think Dabo needs to push some talk of playing some ranked teams, or else I don't think he'll be really that respected. He needs to start playing some ranked teams, or there is no Dabo Sweeney era at all.
No.
Yeah.
Speaking of ranked teams, do we want to move on to our top 4?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, so currently These were come Monday night. This is coming out on Tuesday, but we are still on the Monday night ranking. So it's Ohio State 1, LSU 2, Clemson 3, Georgia 4, Bama 5. That's obviously going to change, and Utah 6. After this weekend, what do your guys' top fours and two outsiders look like?
I got the same top four. I got Utah the same at 5 because Bama's gone, and 6 I gotta put Oklahoma, and then I want to put this out there: 7 and 8. 7 is Baylor, and then 8 is gotta be Auburn. And I feel like Auburn, I don't know. There's a possibility, a chance, maybe.
There's no chance. They have 3 losses. There's no way they let a 3-win Auburn team,
Yeah.
3-loss Auburn team, in,
There's just a
especially if Georgia's only
possibility.
going to be a 2-loss at the end of the season.
Yeah, there's just a possibility that they're just how they've been playing, but it's a long shot. What do you got, Colton?
I got the same 4, and then I got Oklahoma at 5. Then I got Baylor at 6.
So you have Utah pushed to 7.
Yeah.
So then, does that mean you don't even think Utah's gonna get in?
No.
I think, yeah, for me, it's a toss-up for me if either Baylor or Oklahoma wins. I mean,
Yeah.
that's down to the committee. If it was me, I'd put in Oklahoma, but I don't know what the committee would choose. They've been all over the place this season.
Their rankings really just don't make any sense. They've changed so many times this year.
You can't really think of what the committee's. I mean, I can't wait till 2025 when they finally adopt a new system and make
I
it
want 8 teams, man. Make it 8 teams.
Eight's the perfect amount. There's no team we have to worry about right now getting in if it's top 8.
Yeah.
That's super true.
Plus, who doesn't mind an extended NCAA football fucking schedule? Nobody, I don't
So
think.
what's your top 4, Dom?
My top 4, once again, I am switching Ohio State and LSU. LSU is my number 1 team. They are without a doubt the number 1 team in the country. Ohio State is a close 2, but they are not LSU. 3, I unfortunately have to put Clemson because they're the last undefeated team after that. 4, this is where it gets interesting. I'm actually putting Oklahoma in at my 4 because I thought that win at Oklahoma State was nice, and I still take Georgia's loss to South Carolina harshly.
Hold up.
I'm saying this.
Okay.
Georgia, you're at 5 because you need to earn your way in by beating LSU. If you beat LSU, get your 4th spot. Until you earn that 4th spot, I'm not giving it to you. So then,
okay.
let me give you my outsiders. 5, I have Georgia at 5.
All right.
6, I have Baylor. 7, I have Utah because Utah, you haven't done shit this year. You haven't played a ranked team. The team that is finally ranked that you did play earlier in the season beat you. You haven't done anything. Why you're being overhyped to be in the top 4 and our number 5, I don't know because you haven't done anything convincing, and even beating Oregon will not convince me to put you anywhere near this top 4.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about them. I don't think they deserve to be in the Final Four at all. Not even 6 for me.
So I just want to talk about how you have Oklahoma at 4. So what are you doing if you see Oklahoma as a team that's deserving to get in if Georgia wins against LSU? Because you're seeing Oklahoma as a team to be in.
Yeah, you can't. Really
That's how I see it.
I see it. They're a team to be in. Yes. But if Georgia beats LSU, that is the most convincing win of the year. They have an SEC championship, which I weight way better than a Big 12 championship, and that would take Georgia over Oklahoma at that point. But as of right now, Georgia doesn't have any of that. So Oklahoma, I feel like, has the better strength of wins, and they looked very well in their last game. Georgia, I will not ever give up on the South Carolina loss. Kansas State, however, who Oklahoma lost to, is now, I believe, either 7-4 and 8-4, who will more than likely be ranked next week. So that is actually not that bad of a loss if you look at it for Oklahoma anymore.
I just think it looks better seeing that you put in Georgia at 4, I would say, just because it gives that expansion spot, and that you're not putting a team like Oklahoma in there, or Utah, or whatever team you want to put in there, and then yanking them out. It just doesn't look as good. It looks better with you trying to fight for the spot.
If you look at the resumes right now, Georgia doesn't deserve it.
I
If
mean,
they beat LSU, then obviously yes, they deserve it because that's the biggest win in
I
the
see why the
football
committee puts
this
them.
year.
I see why the committee puts Georgia up there, just because Oklahoma, as we said earlier, that they, second
Yeah,
half
I
team
can
only.
see.
So that's
Yeah,
that's
I can
why.
see why they put Georgia there because this is how the committee sees it. Georgia's staying there until they lose. So that way, if Georgia never loses, Georgia never leaves. It makes it easier for them to take them out once Georgia loses. It'll be harder for them to put Georgia in if they're on the outside if Georgia wins, because then you have the debate. Well, Oklahoma was already top four, and then they won their championship. Why are they getting booted when they did just as much as Georgia did? I get why the committee does that.
Okay.
All right,
I have a question, boys.
what's up?
That.
If Georgia loses, and they are four right now, and Baylor upsets Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship, does the fourth spot go to Utah or Baylor?
If Georgia wins, it's the top four the same.
No, I said Georgia loses. Georgia
Oh,
loses to
Georgia
LSU.
loses and Baylor
Yes.
wins.
Yes.
Well,
I'll give it to Baylor.
whoever wins in the Oklahoma Baylor game is going.
You don't think it goes to Utah if Baylor wins?
No, I don't.
I hope not either, because honestly, Baylor's only loss is Oklahoma, guys. Like, I don't know why they're ranked right now at 9
Wait,
behind
Baylor's
Utah.
undefeated?
Baylor's lost once to
Oh
Oklahoma
yeah, yeah,
one
no, okay.
time, and Oklahoma right now is ranked 7. I'd say it's a pretty freaking good loss if you ask me.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like Utah doesn't have a shot. Whoever wins the Oklahoma Baylor game is gonna get the position if Georgia loses. Georgia wins, stays the same.
I don't think Georgia wins, but that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be tough for Georgia. Fromm's gotta actually play like a
Yeah.
QB in order for them to do well.
Yeah, so sticking with college but changing sports, college basketball was pretty interesting this weekend, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of something to talk about, I guess you could say.
All right, well, let's talk about the big dog in town, Michigan. Their performance at the Battle for Atlantis was one to remember.
Oh yeah, for sure. Coming from an
Yeah,
unranked team, going in a number 4 spot.
Yeah,
Gotta appreciate what they did. Yeah.
this Battle for Atlantis gave them this 4 spot, that dominating win over North Carolina, and then even more domination over Gonzaga was
Gonzaga, yeah.
wow. 82 to 64 was that score in the championship of the Battle for Atlantis.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, Michigan. Yeah, I don't
Mich-
know. I
they,
mean,
I don't
how do you
know.
misjudge it? I want to think about that. How do you misjudge a team like that?
They lose quite a few players. New coach, you don't know what to expect. But besides that, I really don't know how you misjudge a team this bad.
Yeah, that's kind of shocking to be honest. I'm kind
Here's
of
the
waiting for any other spotlight teams to show out like this to
here's the
just
thing
waltz
though.
in.
Do we think that they could beat Louisville?
We'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about the other couple games that happened, and then let's talk about that game because there's a few
Copy.
more games that happened.
All right, what do you want to talk about
Um,
next?
let's talk about Purdue upsetting number 20 VCU, another Big Ten team that is unranked that seems quite confusing as they're still a decent team. I know they lost Carson Edwards, but Purdue is always a decent college basketball team, are they not?
Yeah, they always
Yeah,
play
they are.
tough. They always play tough, no matter who they're gonna play against. It's like one of those scrapper teams that could win any game. And
Yeah, so Purdue getting this win hopefully boosts their resume a little bit, helps them get a little kickstart into later on in the season. Unfortunately, Purdue did end up losing that championship game to Florida State, though, 63 to 60. So once again, not a bad loss, but Purdue, I feel, getting a little like they're just underestimating a lot of teams this year.
yeah, I mean, that's what college basketball is all about, though.
Yeah, college basketball's been crazy though. And finally, let's talk about one more upset, which was Florida State upsetting number 17 Tennessee.
You don't want to talk about Texas Tech?
Oh, we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to Texas Tech in a second. Don't you worry. But we're just sticking to the same tournament right now. So
All right,
yeah,
who are we talking about again?
Florida State upsetted
Yeah.
number 17 Tennessee.
I mean, I don't really have
I
much to
think
say on that game.
Yeah, I think Florida
It's just
State's
once
another
again
one of those
another
teams.
yeah.
you know?
Thank you, Cole. Another
They're like
underestimated team.
what Cole said about Purdue. Like they're always a team that goes out there and fights. Like they're never a bad team. Like
just letting you guys know now, Florida State went from unranked to 17 after this tournament. Well deserved by them.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
For sure.
Now, Cole, would you like to talk about that game that you just said now?
Texas Tech versus Creighton. Creighton pulls it
Yeah.
off. Oh my God! Overtime win. I mean, any game that goes into overtime is a great game to watch. But come on, really, Texas Tech? What are you doing?
This is Texas Tech's second loss in a row, by the way. They also lost on Thursday to Iowa.
Which again isn't a terrible team.
What I don't
or a
get
terrible
is-
loss, but like
How is the committee getting all these wrong? Like what the hell?
Texas Tech. I get they were in the championship last year, but they lost quite a bit of star power, and they didn't really reload. Nobody really expected Texas Tech to be all that great this year, yet they got the ranking of 12 this week, and now they're unranked because of it.
Like I kind of gotta think like, are they even like looking at the teams and the players and the coaches? Like, it doesn't even look like it looks like they just went off like last year.
And it's very confusing because there's been so many upsets. It's just like, dude, you got anything right this year?
It's been all over the place. I mean, their top ranked team was Kentucky first or was it Duke first?
And it was Michigan State first.
Oh, it was?
Lost
Yeah.
to Kentucky. Kentucky came, lost to Evansville, and then Duke came and they lost to Stephen F.
SFC.
Austin. Now
Hey,
it's
so
their
that means
time
Louisville's
to
up there, so they're
Louisville.
gonna lose to Michigan.
Louisville.
If that
Don't
happens,
lose,
if that happens, there's the number one seed curse this year. And then Michigan's
You
going to be
don't
up
wanna
there.
be the
So,
number one seed. You don't want to be the number one seed. Yeah, don't be Michigan. We're
Oh,
going to a
God,
game
if
for you
Michigan
guys in a few
wins-
weeks, don't
Okay.
become number one.
we got to talk about that. Okay, if Michigan beats Louisville and goes to number one, and there's the fucking number, we could possibly witness a number one team lose. Oh my God.
Okay, Michigan, you might want to lose this game, please.
I don't know. I kind of want to be there in Ann Arbor
Yeah.
watching a Michigan team lose. As an Ohio
Yeah, in
State
case you
fan,
guys
that's
didn't know,
probably the best thing I
December
could hope for.
14th, the 4 a.m. crew will be in Ann Arbor witnessing Michigan versus Oregon. Michigan could potentially be
Yes,
the
sir.
number one team in the country at that time.
oh yeah, it's gonna be a game to
All right.
Yeah,
You
witness.
know your boy's gonna be repping some Ohio State.
care.
Yeah, you might not even enter the building at that point.
We're
not gonna save you if you
I'm
get
showing out, okay? But
All right,
Actually,
but-
we kind of have to save him because he's our ride.
But yeah, back to Michigan and what we just said. Michigan is playing Louisville this week. What do you guys expect from this game?
I see Michigan pulling out of it. I mean,
Really?
I think they're gonna ride this momentum all the way to that win.
That
I
could be a very valid point. Very valid.
This Louisville team is pretty good.
It's also a Louisville home game.
Yeah. Mm.
I don't know, I
Louisville
think-
has a contender for player of the year in Jordan Dora. He's a returning player. He's averaging 21 points a game right now.
And,
Yeah, I don't know.
and as I'm looking at it right now, Michigan only has a 21% chance to win. It's
So
not
you're telling me to
like
pick Michigan.
Yeah, I still think Michigan is very, very underrated. I'm picking Michigan just off of their past two games, destroying these top 10 teams. You gotta give Michigan.
I'm not even like trying to be biased. Like I want to go see a number one ranked team. Like I'm just being like dead ass. I think that they're gonna ride this momentum all the way to that win. I think
Well,
it's gonna
obviously,
carry over.
somebody has to pick Louisville. I think I'm going to pick with them. I feel like after that big tournament, Michigan's not going to be on their A game coming back to the United States after leaving the Bahamas. And they're going to be a little sluggish going into Louisville. You can't go be sluggish. That's a big place to play. Louisville is not going to take Michigan lightly, especially after these last two games they played. I feel like Louisville pulls this one out in a close one.
Alright, so you
Okay.
think Michigan can only be good when they're in the hot weather? When they bring it back to the cold weather, they
I
start
don't
out
know if
cold?
I'm saying that. I don't know if I'm saying that.
Okay.
All right. Well, next we have two former number one teams in number 10 Duke versus number 11 Michigan State at Michigan State.
You got Michigan State.
I don't know, actually, to be honest.
These two teams have kind of been a little disappointing. Well, Michigan State more because Michigan State already has 2 losses this year.
I mean, Michigan State is the predicted winner, 70%. So
I feel like it's only because it's a home game.
I feel like this is
I
my
feel
personal
like
opinion,
Duke has the better team.
but I feel like Duke's too young. They don't have
Yeah.
I don't think they have their connection and
That could be
chemistry
very
down.
well, and this will be a very big road game for those freshmen.
This is a big game for both these teams to decide what's going to be happening. But honestly, just because Duke is so young, and I mean, Duke has always had young players, but there's something with this team how young they are, and they're not clashing together this early. Yeah, I gotta go with that. Michigan State for that game.
Right. What do you think,
Um,
Dom?
yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I don't. I know they're young, but man, you brought up a
For
great
me, I
point
just
about
don't
them
see the
being
chemistry.
freshmen. And looking at their schedule, this will be their first true road game. And let me tell you something. It's not easy playing at Michigan State.
Oh no.
For this to be their first true road game against a ranked opponent is going to be super tough. This is going to be something like they've never experienced before, which is kind of scaring me because I was really leaning towards Duke, but I'm really not sure. I think I'm going to stick with Duke because I feel like they have more better skilled players. Michigan State has Cassius Winston, but they're still trying to figure out who else on that team can be something. But then again, Duke has Trey Jones and Vernon Carey, and outside of that, they're not sure. But after how Michigan State's been starting the season with losses to both Kentucky and Virginia Tech, I think I'm going to have to stick with Duke for this one.
I mean, yeah,
Really?
Duke's. I think this is their. They've had a month after their loss. I think it is. Um, let me look at this real quick. Yeah, no. They okay. So they both have 2 weeks. I mean, they've been playing college ball for about a month. I feel like Duke should have their chemistry down. But I mean, 2 weeks ago they just lost to
Even at Boston.
yeah. So and that same like a day before that Michigan State lost. So again, I don't know. I mean,
All right, Cole, what do you think?
I already said I think Michigan State's gonna win.
Is there any reason why, though? Any reason at all?
Just if you just look at like the numbers, I don't know. You can't really say it off of numbers because, like you said, they both just came off a loss. So you can't. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah. For me,
You
the
can't really pick like a true
big thing
winner in
watching
this one.
Duke is I just don't see the chemistry. I feel like there's some team
Like yeah,
bonding
and
or
like you
something they
said,
gotta
they're all
work
like
on.
yeah, and like you said, they're all like super young and Duke, and I don't know. I just don't see them pulling it out.
All right. And our that brings us to our final weekday game that we cover before our Friday forecast. It would be number 6 Ohio State going to number 7 North Carolina.
You know, you gotta wrap the Ohio State with the close 5 point win over. Calling that right now.
Oh, Colton?
Uh, I think it is going to be a close game, but I don't really know who's going to come on top. I kind of like Ohio State in this one. Sorry about
Yeah,
that,
you
Dom.
better like
But
Ohio
like,
State in this one because I feel like Ohio
all right,
State
just
is not gonna
because of
go.
that, I'm going for
Ohio State's
North
not
Carolina.
ending their undefeated season. They're putting North Carolina 6-2.
Sorry to say this, Cole, but North Carolina already got their November loss out of them. They don't lose in December. November is where they lose their games early on in the season. They get that little one out of them. They got their ass kicked by Michigan. They're not letting it happen again. They're coming off a big bounce back win over Oregon. They're not slowing down. The emergence of freshman stars Cole Anthony and Armando Baycott are very big here, as well as the seniors Brandon Robinson and Garrison Brooks. Going into the Dean Smith Center is no easy task, and Ohio State will not be able to get it done. Carolina pulls this one out 10 points.
I
You
mean,
really think
I kind of
Ohio
want to
State's
just
going to slow down?
since you want to pull out all that, I just want to pull out a fact: North Carolina versus Big Ten teams. 0-1,
Yeah.
I
0-1,
don't. Oh
0-1,
wow,
baby,
0-1. Do we need to talk
0-1.
about North Carolina versus Ohio State the past years? Do we need to bring those stats up?
It's a different year.
Yeah,
It's a different
you
year,
can't
different
really
teams.
base it off of that. I mean,
Oh, but
look
you're gonna
at
base it off of one team of Michigan.
All I'm saying
Makes
is
it on
the
one.
Big Ten is here for basketball this season. I don't know if North Carolina is prepared.
All right. Well, I guess we'll find out on Wednesday, won't we?
Yes, we will.
Yeah, I do. I definitely think Ohio State's got the win though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for our college basketball things here. Let's move it on to the NFL.
Alrighty.
So let me just bring up some scores here of the games no one really cares about.
This is for Sunday, right?
Yeah, this is for Sunday.
Okay.
We already did Thursday night football. If you did not know that, that's in our Friday night forecast one. So go on back to that video if you want to see our recaps of those games. But
And
getting
our
back
and
to
what we predicted as well.
we predicted as well. So let's just go through some of these. Bears beat Lions 24-20. Anything you got to say about that game, boys?
Just a sad game to watch.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it
wait.
wasn't.
Hold on. These were the Thanksgiving games. We covered these. My
Yeah.
bad. But anyway, so let's see. Titans beat the Colts 31-17. Kind of
Didn't we
shocking a
all?
little bit.
Yeah, didn't we all have the Colts for that one?
I believe so. Don't let's
Then
not talk
the
about it.
the
Yeah, yeah.
Ravens and the 49ers.
All right,
No, let's just keep going
we'll
down
go.
the
But
list.
we're
But
gonna
yeah,
keep
I
down
think
the
we all
list.
had the Colts in that. I'm pretty sure.
The Ravens and 49ers we'll talk about a bit later. That's an important game. We like to leave the important games for last. A bit of a shocker. The Eagles losing to the Dolphins. Yikes.
Dolphins finally showed that they were an NFL team and not a college team. I mean, I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
about all you can say. Eagles, what the hell happened? Packers beat the Giants. I don't think anybody wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Giants just haven't
Giants
been
are
on
what,
their.
2-9 or 2-10,
It's
something
just
like
not
that.
good. The Steelers got their revenge against the Browns, 20-13. A
Did
bit of
not think that was
surprise.
gonna happen. I thought the
Baker
Browns were on
Mayfield
their.
played like shit.
Yeah, hey, that's what I said in Fridays. Baker's got to be on his game in order
And
for
he
them to be well.
definitely was not. All right, keeping it going. Redskins pulled off the upset against the Panthers. Another game. We all picked the Panthers. We are really dog shit
Well,
this week, boys.
where were the Redskins that week? You can't really blame us for picking the Panthers. They were like the Redskins had like the Giants stats this week. They were like 2 and what, like 10? Like they
Yeah.
were pretty shit.
All right. Buccaneers beat the Jaguars. Nick Foles actually played so bad that they benched him for Gardner Minshew in that game. Big Dick Nick. What happened, man? You let me down.
Uh,
The Rams got over that Ravens loss pretty quick with a 34-7 win over the Cardinals.
yeah, the Rams
Alright.
should have played like that against the Ravens. I mean,
I don't know where this Rams offense has been all year, but I hope they keep it.
I hope it sticks around. Yeah.
And then finally, before we get into our big games, the Chiefs demolished the Raiders 40-9.
Yeah, I think we all kind of saw that one coming.
I didn't. I thought the Raiders had a chance of something, but I guess Arrowhead Stadium was not the place.
What Dom say on Thursday or whatever? He said like Patrick Mahomes at home, like that.
Yeah, that's all you
like
gotta
that.
say. Patty Mahomes, home. Come on. All right, we're getting into the games that we discussed a little bit further. This isn't really that important of a game, except for Cole. You picked this upset of the week: the Bengals over the Jets for their first win of the
I just want to
year.
say, I've been on my shit this season. I knew it was coming. I'm so happy that I picked that, and I knew it was going to happen eventually. If it wasn't this week, it would have been next week. Bengals were bound to get their win.
Everybody gets lucky once in a while. I don't know. Bengals, Jets, you just let us down. Fuck you. That's why I hate
Can't lose them
fucking
all.
Jets. Yeah, you can't lose them all. Exactly. All right, now it brings us to game 2. The Colton. This was your upset of the week that happened correctly. Broncos 23 over the
No.
Chargers 20. Drew Lock's debut.
We got to talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
this game because somebody decides, if you guys don't follow us on Twitter, Dom decides to tweet out,
Yeah,
an
I
hour
just
before the
wanna
game?
say, fuck you, Dom, for trying to yoink my fucking prediction.
No, I didn't.
I-
If you guys watched
I didn't
Fridays,
make
Dom
this my
switched
upset of
his
the week.
pick on Twitter.
Dom switched his pick because he did not know Drew Lock was starting. Once he found that out, he knew Drew Lock was a lock
Hey.
to win. Okay.
All I gotta say is
It
that's
wasn't
how you know
really
you're
like a
bad
guaranteed
Broncos
win.
fan.
That was
'Cause
kind of a close game.
Nah, man, I got confidence in Drew Lock, my boy.
all I know is that's how you're a bad Broncos fan if you don't pick them to win over the Chargers. Like I picked them to win. I wanted them to get their fourth win. They pulled it out. I picked them even before Drew Lock.
This isn't
came
about
in
once.
with all
This
the
is
hype.
about being
okay?
smart and making the correct choices. And at the time, Drew Lock was not starting, and I wasn't picking Brandon Allen over the Chargers. I'm sorry.
All right,
But yeah, 23-20, they get a pass interference on one of the final plays of the game.
dude. What a
Which-
play, dude.
what
He
an
ran
idiot.
into
What
him.
an idiot.
He ran into him, and then we almost missed the first field goal, and then they
Hey.
called the timeout, and then he
And
like
Big Dick McManus knocks it in, all right? Speaking of
All right.
McManus, did you see him at halftime when Fangio did not let him attempt the 65-yard field goal to end
Yeah,
it?
he
He
was-
was fucking pissed.
he was triggered.
And if I'm
Well, the
Vic
game
Fangio in that
was-
situation, why not try it? You're the fucking 3-8 Denver Broncos. What are you going to lose by kicking that? Please
I'm
tell
not,
me.
I'm not like trying to change subjects that much, but it's kind of on this topic. When did the Patriots play again? It was last night, right?
Patriots played Sunday nights.
Did you see Tom Brady after he told one of his I forgot who's number 11 on the Patriots? I forgot his name. Can't think of
Julian
it.
Edelman. I don't know how you
Yeah,
forget
yeah,
that name.
Julian. I thought he was like 12 or something, but he told him to go
That's Tom Brady's
longer.
number.
He told him to
What
go
are you
longer.
on? What'd you say?
Fucking
What'd
watch
you
the
say?
Patriots. But he was telling him to go long, and then like Julian Edelman just stopped and like turned around, and after it, fucking Brady was cussing him out on the sidelines. That shit was
Hey,
fucking
man.
hilarious.
It's just not okay. If you want to talk about the Patriots, let's get right to that game. This was Dom's upset of the week that everybody told me he was going to be wrong about. But guess what? Deshaun Watson showed out for me. He
Yeah, for
made
fucking
the
once,
Patriots look
jeez.
pretty shitty. Looked Patriots pretty shitty. You saw Tom Brady's true colors and true form as being one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL this year. But he, of course, he padded his stats in garbage time when his team was down 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
I mean, he made a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah, in
Right.
garbage time when the defense didn't give a fuck and he padded his stats.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Patriots, man. What are you doing?
Deshaun Watson just had the Patriots number, and that's 28 points on apparently one of the best defenses in the NFL. So, hey, Patriots, when you play a good team, you're not looking too hot. 2 good teams you played, Texans, Ravens. Guess what? You fucking lost.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Ravens, 49ers, Ravens, great game this week.
Ravens
Oh,
are
yeah, that's
breaking
really
ankles,
fun to
okay?
watch.
Ravens are breaking ankles.
I remember we were all singing praise about the 49ers in our last podcast, and
I
like,
wasn't.
The 49ers heard us, and they were like, you know what? The Ravens heard us, and they were like, you know what, you motherfuckers? We're just gonna prove you all wrong.
I don't think they really ruined our praise, though. It was 17-20, and the Ravens made that on the end of the game, last second field goal from Justin Tucker, who was pretty much never going to miss in the final seconds.
I don't want to necessarily say we were praising the 49ers. We were just talking, like, giving them a pat on the back for being like one
I
of the
still
teams
don't
that
think
were
you can
getting
take that
rocked.
pat on the back away because I still feel like this is the potential Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, it was still a
Really?
great game. I mean, you can't say one team's definitely better than the other. It was decided by a field goal. I mean,
And it was a shitty weather game. The 49ers traveled all the way across the United States to play this.
and who wants to play in fucking Baltimore? Like, come on. Who the fuck wants
Yeah, if these teams
I'd rather
meet
play
again,
in
it's
San
definitely
Fran.
not going to be in Baltimore. It's going to be in Miami in the Super Bowl. That's going to be a way different environment and atmosphere for this game.
You're right.
But speaking of the 49ers, the Seahawks in their division beat the Vikings. They took the top spot in the division, and the 49ers have dropped down to number 5 seed in the NFC, while the Seahawks went up to 2, and the Saints take the top spot.
Hey,
I just want
Seahawks
to say
showed
how
out.
weird you just like put that out. You're like, speaking of the 49ers, the
That's,
Seahawks.
yeah, that's my fault. I should have talked about the NFC West. My bad.
Hey, the Seahawks, we predicted they were going to pull out. Russell Westbrook did his thing.
Russell Westbrook, we playing basketball
Or,
here?
oh, God.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson did his
Triple-double tonight, huh? Did he have a triple-double?
Oh, God. Got my words mixed up. But, played well. And like I said, the Seahawks stuck out.
Russell Wilson been playing well all season. I think we all expected this. Besides Colton. Colton said the Vikings for some reason. Why, I don't know. But Colton, you were wrong. Sorry.
What did I say for college? I said fucking Georgia Tech. You can't really take my predictions. You have to take my predictions with a grain of salt, man. I mean, come
Very
on.
true,
Even
very
though
true.
it was still a
Come on,
great
man.
game to watch, though. But
Yeah, it's still a good game. But Dalvin Cook did not play his best game of the year, and he's been coming off some great games. And I think that's what really slowed the Vikings down, even though it was only a 7-point loss.
yeah, I mean, 29 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the best of games.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins definitely had to carry it, but yeah, 29 yards definitely would have helped if he could have got a little bit more than that, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, staying in football, we are going to talk about upcoming Thursday night football between the Cowgirls and the Bears.
Well, obviously the Cowboys aren't gonna win. So I'm
No,
gonna
the
look at Bears.
Cowboys have got to win this game, or Jerry Jones is going to rip all of his remaining gray hairs out.
I think the Bears
That's
once
like
again are
every
gonna.
Hair he fucking has, Cole.
Yeah,
I
I
think the
think
Bears
he's gonna
are
get.
gonna
I think he's
carry-
gonna scalp himself. He is so furious with Jason Garrett and how the Cowboys have been playing. If you have Elliott, You spend all this money and you don't even utilize them. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, to contradict that, I think that the Bears are gonna ride this momentum out, and I think Trubisky coming off one of his best games of the season, which it still
Against the
wasn't a.
Lions. Against the
It's,
Lions.
that's what I was gonna say. It wasn't like a show, but it was one of his best games of the season, and I think he's gonna feel good about himself, and I think he's gonna want to keep that momentum going and try to carry this team to another dub.
Against the Lions.
Okay, we heard you, but I'm just saying. I think he's still.
I don't think Trubisky's gonna be showing out anytime soon. Trubisky's
I don't know.
not been playing well.
Yeah, and I think this is when he pulls his head out.
I think if Dallas gets their head out of their ass, Dallas will be fine.
Let me tell you something, Colton. There's only 3 worse defenses in the Detroit Lions, and that's the Dolphins, Bengals, and Cardinals. So you tell me why Trubisky did so good on Thursday night.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, you're right, and he didn't really even do so good, quote unquote. He was like 28 for like 39 or something like that. So,
And the Cowboys are a top 10 defense. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near the same result for Mitch.
Yeah, the Cowboys defense have been holding even good teams to a considerable 20 points around usually. I mean, they held the Patriots to 12, I think it was.
I don't know. I'm sticking to my guns though. I'm gonna say the Bears. Sorry.
Cole, I take you're taking the Cowboys.
No, I'm taking the Cowboys as long as I take Cowboys if they get their head out of their ass and start figuring it out. If they can't do that, then the Bears are gonna win. But
And you
right
cannot
now,
pull a dom.
right now, I think Cowboys are gonna have the
like,
momentum of Jerry Jones shoving his fist right up Jason Garrett's ass and saying, "If you fuck this up, you're getting fired." That's just what I think.
But you can't pull a dom and change your vote. Like
I won't. I mean, I can't predict how they're gonna feel. I mean,
all right.
Well, I think that coming off that amazing win, Mitchell Trubisky is going to ride straight downwards back into the pit of fire that he was originally in and play like absolute shit. The Cowboys win a very disgusting-looking game. It's just going to be all defense. Maybe some scores from the Cowboys if the Bears' defense get fed up with Mitchell Trubisky, but I have the Cowboys taking this game.
yeah, they just gotta show out, or else their season is just down the fucking shitter.
Wait, you know what? Fuck it. Colton, you're right. The Bears are going to win this game despite a very horrible game from Mitchell Trubisky. It's going to be a terrible game from him. If they're somehow going to win this game, how, I don't fucking know, but they're going to fucking do it. They're going to do it.
They're gonna pull the Bears from last season. Their defense is gonna score all.
I just want to say you're siding with one of the worst predictors on the podcast. I mean, last couple of weeks I've been pretty spot on, but
I've got some confidence in the Bears.
All right.
Yep.
Why I legitimately have no fucking clue.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd have any confidence in an Illinois team, but yeah.
All right, well, let's slow it down a bit. Let's stop talking about predictions. Let's stop talking about recaps. Let's just talk about something simple that's going around Twitter, and that is people talking about their 4 worst sports moments of this decade.
Mine would probably be I don't really know. Number 1 would obviously be Jose Fernandez. I think the kid had a lot of potential, and it's really sad that he had to go at like 25 or something. It was like a really young age.
Yeah, don't do coke, really kids.
Don't do coke. Don't do coke and try to ride a boat and try to drive a boat. Yeah, it's just not a good combination. The Cubs winning the World Series because I'm a Sox fan.
Oh, that was brutal.
That's a great memory, not a worse memory.
Nah, that's brutal because you never hear the end of the fake Cub fans.
Hey, we ended the drought, baby.
Yeah, all those jokes down the drain.
Finally
another
in the Sahara.
Peyton Manning retiring.
Thank God.
Don't make me tear up. Don't make me tear up.
You know,
I don't know what's worse, Peyton Manning retiring or the Colts saying Peyton Manning you're not coming back.
Okay, and
or Peyton Manning leaving you guys with the Broncos how they are.
Yeah, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah,
fuck you.
How about that one?
Okay, and my last one would probably be, since I'm a Sox fan again, Mark Burley coming out of his prime, just leaving the Sox and going to the shitty ass Blue Jays.
Hey man, he got you the no-no, okay? Isn't that enough?
Dude, he got us like 3 no-nos in like a perfect game. Like, dude was a freaking monster. Like, and then he went to the fucking Blue Jays.
I'm kind of shocked you didn't put a Konerko in there.
Well, he didn't really have anything sad. He was just like old.
Yeah, but he was a
He's
great
retired.
player that just retired. I mean, you gotta be sad about that. I
Not
mean,
really. I
if
mean,
you're a
he had a.
Yankees fan, you gotta be sad about Jeter being done.
I mean, not really. He was old too. I mean, if
Yeah,
they're
but
old,
I mean, it's
got
sad to see like one of your great players just leave and be done. But
What's wrong? Yeah, you should be sad about Paulie. Ever since then, they've been even fucking worse.
I'm not. It's not that I'm not sad. I just want to put it as one of my saddest
okay, yeah,
moments. I
fair enough,
guess.
fair enough.
All right, well, those are your four, Colton, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I guess yeah.
Oh, well, Cole, what do you have for your worst four sports moments of the decade
All
here?
right, I got two for Ohio State.
Of
Both,
fucking course.
both,
Always letting their fans down.
both of them are field goal losses.
Oh,
Michigan State
yeah?
with the field goal win over
Don't forget
Ohio.
oh, is that the little windmill celebration at the end?
That little shit.
I think it's that one, right? It's that one? Is that
Yeah,
the one
it's
it
that
is?
one,
After
it's
they
that one.
lose to Michigan State goes to the college football playoff after that?
Yeah, let's talk about what they do in that playoff.
Yeah, fuck
Not
you. We're not
shit.
going to talk about that. We beat Ohio
Alright.
State that year, so fuck you.
Yeah, a little windmill victory. Yeah, they've been shit ever since. Penn State, they got their
Oh.
win over Ohio.
How'd that one happen again, Cole? Can you recall the end of that game?
I don't think I want to recall the end of that
I think
game.
I think you need to, because like if we're gonna go into detail, I think you should tell the fans here what happened.
True. True.
I mean, they're at home at Penn State. Ohio State played like fucking shit, and Penn State just gets this. Oh, I don't want to
Classic
talk
Ohio
about it. I
State.
don't want to talk about it. And whenever a team,
Okay,
one of
okay,
your
so
team
the
loses
block-
by
okay,
a
guys,
field goal,
Blocked
Classic.
field goal, okay? They blocked the field goal, correct?
Classic Ohio State at the end of the season.
dude, like, come on. How do you do that? I'm moving on. I'm tired of.
Why? I think it's a great game to talk about.
No, I hate it.
All right, what's your other one?
That dude, that loss was so bad when that happened. Dude, that crushed my season for them.
Okay, what's your other one?
Alright, I got Jason Garrett. Fuck off, dumb. I got Jason Garrett
Jason
still
Garrett.
being on the fucking Cowboys. I don't know what Jerry Jones is doing.
I think you should keep him for another 5 years.
Fuck.
He's doing great.
Yeah, just start fucking giving him your fucking credit card. I mean, Jesus, dude, it's just giving him free money at this point. It's just
Hey, what's
Yeah.
wrong with free money?
Hey, you gotta look at it.
no,
this way.
according
You
to
guys are in,
fucking
like,
Jerry
the
Jones,
shittiest
you don't care
division.
about it.
You guys are in like the shittiest division, so you don't have to worry about being first in your division.
Why the fuck are you guys shitting on me? I'm saying the worst. Like, god damn.
Hey, he got you to the 2018 playoffs and the 2016 playoffs.
Did he do
There
that,
might
or did
not-
Dak Prescott do that?
There may not be too many wins in these playoffs, but
Yeah.
they're getting there.
Okay. And then
Did
when
he do that, or did Dak Prescott do that?
Yeah, I'm not too impressed on Dak Prescott either there.
yeah, I mean, they have Elliott at the running game though. I mean, it shouldn't be all Dak Prescott. You pay if you're paying Elliott what you're paying him, and that man is running the ball well. What the fuck are you not running him for? It's just plain and simple.
Alright.
Because when the defense is focused on your run, you're going to have someone to pass the ball as well.
So fucking mix it up. Just don't run in the beginning and then just
Alright,
stick to
alright,
passing the whole time.
What's your next ones?
And then I got Tom Brady's classic Deflategate. Like, what
I
are
don't know
you
if that
doing?
was sad. That was pretty fucking hilarious.
I mean, it was kind of sad, as in the point like somebody would stoop that low just to win a game. Like, are you serious?
Oh, I would like to change my Cubs one to Ichiro Suzuki retiring.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Cubs?
Okay.
Cubs?
Yeah, I don't really give a fuck the Cubs.
Cubs
Like,
are
okay,
way
they won.
worse than Ichiro retiring. Ichiro should have retired a while ago.
All right,
before
then
that.
all right? I'd like to change Mark Burley to Ichiro because that was pretty.
Okay.
That was pretty upsetting because they played like a game in Japan and like he like tipped his hat and everything. Dude, it was so emotional. All right, go ahead, Cole.
Yeah, just the Deflategate and how he would just stoop that low just to win a game is kind of that's just bad. From my eyes seeing it, I can't. I didn't
Oh, yeah,
think
it's a
Brady would
bad
do that.
moment
I
in
don't-
sports, but
yeah.
that's not the only time they fucking cheated, so what's the point?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, when you're that good of a quarterback and you fucking cheat, like that's crazy.
All right, how many is that? 3.
I think that was his
that was
fourth.
4. That was 4. All right,
down.
Remember the two Ohio State games? Remember that, Cole? Did you remember talking about those Ohio State games?
So Don, what are your Tom, what are
Do
your
do you
worst
want like a
memories?
specific order or like what do you
So we're
want?
gonna move on from the
Nah.
topic, or
You think I would put Jose Fernandez as my saddest fucking moment?
Maybe, why
No,
not?
because he was a fucking crackhead. I mean, he was young, but he was a fucking crackhead. And it's still sad, but not like the saddest moment in sports.
so Tom,
Well,
what do you have for your memories? Your worst?
well, do you want me to start with my worst one?
No.
Yeah, let's
Start
hear
off with your like best worst, and then get to your worst.
it. Best
All
one.
Yeah, I
right.
didn't know how
Well,
to phrase it.
what do you mean like my best worst? Like the worst moment of all time for me?
No, just
No, like
leave
the
that
one that's
last.
not. Yeah.
Oh, so that doesn't hurt as much as what you're saying?
Yeah, and then we
Yeah.
can shit on you later.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks,
Yeah,
man.
fuck off.
Mine would be the opening snap of the Broncos versus Seahawks Super Bowl.
Okay.
That
Oh, how'd that Super Bowl end?
this is
Pretty
why it
dog
doesn't hurt as much because that Super Bowl wasn't even close to begin with.
Oh
So,
yeah. Broncos
Hey,
are
and
real
you can't really
good.
talk shit because at least the Broncos made it to their finals. What the fuck did Ohio State do?
What?
yeah, fuck you.
What?
I
What
don't
are
know
you
what he's
talking
saying.
about?
I'm going with it.
At least they made it to like the Super Bowl. What the fuck did Ohio
I
State
mean, Ohio
do?
State won the first college playoff.
What did they fucking do?
That's I
Okay.
mean that's important. What did Peyton Manning do? He went all the way, worked so hard, and they got his ass fucking whooped.
Fuck you.
One
But yeah,
time.
that really
One
hurt
time.
because
He
the
got his ass
Broncos was-
fucking whooped. He made
the
himself look
Broncos
like he
were
was
the
in high
best
school.
offense. Yeah, the Broncos best offense in the country that year, and then they just got shit on by the Seahawks defense, and that's how the game went. But it was all inevitable after that snap. It was just a horrible start, and it just never got better from there.
But wait,
Okay,
what
number
happened at the
4.
beginning of the game?
That was number 4. You
Or
fuck
number
you,
3.
dude.
Number 3. Number 3. That's what I meant.
Number 3 will be another Broncos one. But this one was the year before in 2012. Peyton's first year. I think it was the first year with the Broncos. So he joined 2011. The playoffs were in 2012. 40 seconds left. Broncos up 7. The Ravens were at their own 30-yard line. I don't think the Broncos should have had too much trouble knowing what the Ravens were going to do. They're going to throw the ball, and they were going to throw it pretty deep.
Wasn't that
But-
Joe Flacco's MVP year too?
Yes, it
Super Bowl?
was. It was
Yeah.
a Super Bowl MVP year. Yes, it was. This is when he got banked for the Ravens for no reason because he had one good season. But anyway, back to what I was saying. On their own 30 with 40 seconds left. You know what deep ball's coming, right? Well, apparently Raheem Moore didn't, as he let Jacoby Jones sneak behind him for a 70-yard touchdown to send the game to overtime, where the Broncos would ultimately lose and the Ravens would go on to win the Super Bowl. That one stung.
Does
A
it
lot.
feel bad to know that you guys probably could have,
Won the Super Bowl that year? Yeah, I fucking
Yeah.
know.
but you didn't? So
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Peyton's first year at the Broncos, immediately winning a Super Bowl. Yeah, just fucking tell me about it, dude.
yeah, I'm kind of glad.
Yeah, fuck you.
Okay, number 2. Number 2.
Number 2. This is another Peyton Manning one.
Damn.
Oh, I'm all
This would
Ohio
be-
State. Okay.
This
I'm
would
a,
be.
I'm a Broncos fan too. You don't see me. That's
Hey,
why
I'm
I
a
didn't
Peyton
do that.
Manning fan. I am a Peyton Manning fan. But anyway,
Okay.
would be the 2009 season, but the Super Bowl was in 2010, so it was this decade, and that would be the Colts versus Saints. In the final 4 or 5 minutes, the Colts are down a touchdown. Peyton's got to drive the team down the field to hopefully get a tie ball game here and send this to overtime. Unfortunately, he threw it to Tracy Porter, and Tracy Porter would return that for a pick six and ultimately put the game out of reach, hurting this 10-year-old very, very much, destroying him and crushing him inside.
So what did the Saints go on and do after that?
They won the Super Bowl. That was the fucking Super Bowl,
Okay,
asshole.
so I was just
Yeah.
making sure because like they had a chance at winning, right? Tom Brady had a chance at winning the Super Bowl, but he did it.
Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Not Tom Brady,
yeah,
I meant,
fucked up. Yeah,
fucking
fuck you.
I meant
Fuck
Peyton
you,
Manning.
buddy. Fucking up. Now you just fucked up your whole self. Fuck you.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
Peyton
fucking
Manning just
shit.
fucked it up, so
Fuck you, Cole.
yeah.
Tom Brady. Fuck you. Yeah, shut
Talk
the-
shit on me for having 2 Ohio things, and then you fucking have 3 things with Peyton Manning in them.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, number 1 is not Peyton Manning.
Thank God. I mean,
Did the Broncos win though?
Whoa. No, the second one that I said wasn't Peyton Manning either. It was just the Broncos in general, okay?
you talked about Peyton Manning quite a bit in it.
Okay,
Yeah,
fuck,
he
fuck
did.
you, dude. Fuck
Might
you.
as well. It might as well have been a Peyton Manning thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, it pretty much was, man. They broke my heart a lot.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
okay. Number one. Let's get this fucking segment over with.
Many of you probably recall, I think it was the 2016 NCAA championship between North Carolina and Villanova. Um, North Carolina
Got
was
shit on.
down in the final 2 minutes of the game, and they were starting to come back,
Got
make
shit
the
on.
comeback slowly. And then Marcus Page hits this circuit shot with, I believe, 4.7 or 4.3 seconds left. It was etched to my brain because it's just very hurtful. It's one of those two.
Wasn't
I
that
don't
game
know
back
which
and
one.
forth between like just popping threes back and forth?
It was a lot of good makes. Somewhere deeper in the second half, North Carolina would end up stop making their shots. Don't know why, but they were down a little bit. I
Cause
was
they're
very,
shit.
I was losing hope very much, and they decided to start bringing it back, and I was just like, holy shit, we got a chance. And then Marcus Page, this man hits a double clutch deep three ball. All right, deep three. And that's when everybody thought that this game was going to OT and North Carolina was winning this without a doubt.
And then they
And
got shit on.
My
then
favorite
Chris
part.
Jenkins happened. 4.7 seconds left. I believe they passed into Ryan Archidiacono, that white bitch. He dribbles it down the
That's a
court.
white name.
Yeah, he dribbles it down the court.
What the fuck?
He passes it back to Chris Jenkins, who was the inbounder on that play, which we totally forgot about. He catches it, sets up for the three. Isaiah Hicks tries to close out. Chris Jenkins still has too much room. Jenkins for three, and
And
they
he fucked
win
it.
the championship on a buzzer beater. And Dom was crushed, may have shed a
All
few
right.
tears.
So what was that guy's name again? The white guy.
Ryan Archidiacono, he plays for the
What
Bulls.
the? What the
Who,
fuck name is
hold on,
that?
I'm talking about my worst sport moment ever, and you're talking about Ryan Archidiacono's name.
I mean, it is kind of a
Wait,
weird last name.
Can
how
you
is that
guys
a
fuck
white
off?
name?
This was
That
the
sounds like
worst
some
sports
Wakanda
moment
shit.
of my
Oh, but
life,
not the
and
rule.
you guys don't even care.
Wait,
I
say it
mean, it
again.
wasn't a bad
Arch
moment for me. I mean, I'm
Archie
chilling.
It was a
Diacholo.
great game. It was a great
It
game.
was a great game for me to watch. I
What was
mean,
his
nothing
name
it didn't
again?
hurt me at all.
Archie Diapolo or some shit like that.
Archie Diacono.
Diacono.
Jesus.
And who the fuck names their kid Archie?
I will
Oh,
never.
Archie Griffin? Have you heard of that?
Dude,
What?
I still remember the announcer right before he makes a shot. He was like, Jenkins for the championship. I was like, fuck.
Uh,
Okay.
Why
And
you
then
just
Dom
keep
went
harping on it?
downstairs away from everybody. May have shed a tear or two. Shed even more tears when he saw all the upset seniors not winning. And, well, the redemption year came after that, and your boy was really happy. But that was a very sad day in history.
Basically, Dom's had a pretty shit decade when it comes to sports.
Tell me about it, man. Hey, we had some redemption years. Peyton ended up getting the Super Bowl with the Broncos and retiring off in the sunset. The Tar Heels got their redemption the very next year and won their championship. However, the Yankees, you're still fucking letting me down. Please win a championship soon. It's been too long.
Yeah, is it like
10
half
years
of
is
their
too
line?
much.
Is it
10
like
years
half
is
of their
too much.
roster all stars and they still didn't win a championship?
Hey,
Imagine.
buddy, fuck you.
Imagine. Same with the
Imagine
Cubs.
being dog shit.
Yeah, imagine
I
having
don't
7
see
losing
it.
seasons in a row.
Who did
White
that?
Sox.
Yeah,
White Sox.
exactly. All right, well, let's get off these worst sports moments because I'm already getting in my feels again. Let's get on to our final topic, which is stadiums that we want to visit in our lifetime.
All right, I'll go first. Cowboys fan, you gotta go down on into the state of Texas, and you gotta go to the AT&T Stadium.
Oh, Jerry's World. Jerry's
Bro,
World.
that shit is massive.
Go see the big TV in the middle of the stadium.
If I
as
could
you
watch
dog shit football.
If I could watch a Sugar Bowl in that, or if I could just watch the
Shut
Cowboys
the
play in
fuck
that,
up.
either way, that's a great
I'd
stadium. to
prefer
go
you
to.
watch the Sugar Bowl because they have a better chance of a better game in that one.
Yeah, you're right. But either way, I want to go to that stadium, a $1 billion plus
Wait,
dollar stadium.
are we doing 4 of these or 3 of these?
I'm
You
just
don't have, you can do as many as you want, Colton.
yeah.
Ooh, okay.
And then Penn State's football stadium, whiteout night.
Oh yeah, those are
Isn't
fucking
their stadium called?
crazy.
Isn't it Beaver Stadium or?
That
What?
is not Beaver Stadium, you motherfucker. Beaver Stadium is in like Oregon.
No, I forget what Penn State's stadium is
I'm all
called.
Beaver Stadium.
I
Where
don't
the
Isn't that
know.
like?
fuck did you get Beaver?
I don't know, but
Hey, that would be
Holy
a dope
shit! Never
name.
mind. Cole's right. Fucking shit on us, Cole.
it is
Shit on
Beaver
us.
Stadium.
Shit on us. It's Beaver
Okay,
Stadium.
so yeah, Beaver Stadium, a whiteout
What
night
the?
against Ohio State. Ohio State pulls off the win. That's a perfect stadium to go
Cole,
to.
you can
Wait,
shit on us for talking shit because we
wait.
talked
What are
shit
I'm
their?
pretty
on that
sure it
one.
was Beaver Stadium.
What are their mascot? Like, what's
It's a
Penn State's
fucking
mascot?
ditch lion. It's definitely not a beaver.
What? Why is it not a beaver? That would be dope.
Um, I want to go to
Beaver
Ann Arbor
stadiums.
also, and I gotta see the Michigan
I,
Stadium. The
I
place
want
is
the chant
massive.
where it's like, oh, oh, oh,
Oh,
oh,
dude.
oh, we are Penn State. That shit's dope. You can't tell me that's not dope.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
mean,
Well, we're going to Ann Arbor in 2 weeks, so we can probably
yeah, we'll
stop
probably
by.
hear that, but it'll be weird.
Probably
But
stop
something with
by.
Michigan. But so yeah, I gotta go to Ann Arbor and I gotta see the Michigan Stadium. That place is just massive.
We could probably see it when we go
No,
out there,
like
right?
go in and watch a game. You know.
Oh, okay, okay.
I
Did you
gotta
say
go.
that, Michigan?
Yeah, I don't.
As an
Yeah,
Ohio State fan, you would like to see Michigan Stadium.
Yeah,
yeah.
that
I want
counts
to see
with
Ohio
bad
State
Ohio
play him
State
there.
fan. Okay, okay.
It's still a good. It's still a big 10 stadium, and
Alright.
it's massive.
That-
And then yeah, there's all those memories with Michigan. Yeah, I definitely got to see that place.
I guess.
All right.
I mean, well, being a Michigan State fan, you wouldn't want to go to a Michigan State game in Michigan.
No, why the fuck would I do that? I get fucking booed out the stadium.
That's the great part about it.
Until
Tommy.
we lose because we're dog shit. If I would have went to the Michigan State game on the punt, that'd be awesome. I can recite the whole punt, by the way, and you don't want to hear it because my mom gets annoyed every single time that comes on TV because I recite it word for word, and she tells me I'm fucking weird every time I do
we
it.
don't need to talk about Michigan State. Let's keep it with
The
Ohio
Dom,
Oh,
you
he
State.
gonna
has
wear-
trouble with the snap, and the
Tommy, you gonna
ball is
wear
free.
Michigan State gear when we
Picked
go up
up
there?
by Michigan State's
Oh yeah,
Jaden
you gonna wear any
West-Jackson,
Michigan State gear?
and he scores.
You
on the
gonna wear
last
any,
play of the game.
You gonna wear?
First off, you're gonna stop being a
You
stud.
No, I'm not wearing any fucking Michigan State shit. I'm going to a Michigan Oregon game. Obviously, I'm going to wear an Oregon shirt.
Oh my, you're not wearing it. You're gonna wear it,
Just
Oregon.
kidding.
Oh
Fucking
god.
just kidding,
What are you
bro.
gonna wear? A Michigan shirt?
I don't have a Michigan shirt.
So-
The color yellow is not in my closet.
Michigan State
Borrow
it is.
Just borrow like one of the 50 that Seth has.
Or I'll just wear one of the 50 Nike shirts I have and just call it a day.
Yikes. Okay. I also gotta go. I gotta watch a Bama game at Bama Stadium. I don't know what Bama Stadium's called, but Roll Tide.
It's probably something about Bear Bryant.
Yeah, I gotta see one of their games. And then off of football stadiums, I gotta go to a Duke basketball game. Oh my god.
Damn, how many stadiums you got, motherfucker?
I
And
got
by the
one more
way,
after this. I
Fuck,
got one more. I was only my
Okay.
fifth.
fuck
Alright,
Duke, bro.
alright.
That's all I got to say.
I
Fuck Duke.
gotta see a Duke game, dude. And then
Why? I've been in that stadium. It's small as shit.
it's small and it's loud as fuck.
Loud as fuck.
Yeah,
'cause
why
you
would
got a
you
bunch
want
of fucking weirdos.
That's what you
Why would
want
you
when you
want
go to a
that?
game.
You
You
wanna
want it
be-
to be
Why wouldn't
loud
you
and
want that?
crazy.
You want
I mean, yeah, you wanna be loud and
with
great.
fucking dude.
That's
that's
like
probably
saying
gonna
you don't want to
smash
go
a
to
beer
Penn
bottle
State
in
on
you.
whiteout night.
It's
Like-
way worse than shoulder to shoulder. You guys are fucking dick to dick, by the way. But
Hey.
Oh, Cole wants that.
And then I want to go to a Rose Bowl game.
that's in Pasadena, California. I got you. That's a nice little stadium. I like that. I respect that pick, Cole. I respect it.
That stadium's
Okay.
cool. I just want to stand out in front of it and get a picture. That place is
Is that all
crazy.
your?
Yeah, that's my last one.
You sure you don't have 6 more?
No, dude, it was only 6.
Only 6. I'm gonna have like 3.
Then you
Well,
don't have
name
a lot.
those.
You don't have a lot to look forward to, I guess.
All right. I'll pick some more.
No, just name
so
those 3 right now. Name the 3. Don't be Cole. Don't go to the peer pressure. Do your own shit.
I actually did want to do a couple of football ones. I want to do.
Okay, here we go. Let's think.
I do want to see the Buccaneers Stadium. I'm not even like. Not
Yeah.
Daddy, I want to see the cannon.
That shit looks dope.
Said every 10-year-old in the world.
I think that's it for football because football stadiums are all basically the same. Oh, the Georgia Dome, they're kind of dope. But
Oh, the
Other than
Mercedes-Benz Stadium?
yeah, other than that,
You don't want to
Not
see the
really.
big AT&T Stadium?
No, motherfucker.
Dude, they
Nobody
all
wants.
It's the biggest
They all
stadium
look
in
the
college
same.
football. I don't want to hear.
They all look
Nobody
Or not
in
college football. I meant
That's
NFL.
another-
Chill.
I mean, yeah, the Dallas Cowboys might as well be a
Another
college
one.
team.
Yeah,
but
okay, fuck
Another
off.
one that I want to go to is Boise State Stadium because I'm a Boise State fan.
I just-
go
I
for
w-
the stadium, or do you want to go for the turf field?
Well,
The blue
Both,
turf, is that
both,
what you want to
both.
say?
yeah,
Both.
yeah.
I respect it. I
All
respect
right.
it.
So for baseball, I got a little bit of these. I want to go to the Yankee Stadium. That should
Of
look
course. Keep that on the list, baby. That's the
During
number
it,
one stadium.
I
Hey,
only want- I wanna go
podcast
to
blows
a
up.
home
We take
game.
a boys trip to the Yankee
I want to
Stadium.
I want to go to a home game during the playoffs at the Yankee Stadium. I want to go
Nothing better.
probably to Minute Maid Park. That shit looks beautiful.
Fuck the Astros, fucking cheaters.
I didn't say anything.
It's
did
not
I say
confirmed
anything
yet.
about the Astros? I just said,
You said Minute Maid Park, correct?
is it not fucking beautiful?
The
Shut the fuck-
Trastros is what I'm calling them because they love them fucking trash cans.
Oh my god!
Okay,
Imagine if people
and-
like stood up front with trash cans.
Ah,
And the last baseball one that I want to see that I haven't already seen would probably be the Giants stadium. I forgot what it's called again.
what is that called? That's a great question. I'm totally drawing a blank.
I don't care enough to look it up right now, but
Would you like me to look it up for you?
if you want to waste your time on it, I
Oracle
guess.
Park.
Oh yeah.
Why is it? What the fuck?
I don't know. It
Alright.
sounds like fucking Golden State.
It has oral in it, so it can't be that bad. I think for basketball, I would want to see a North Carolina game at home.
Hell
That-
yeah, that's where it's
that'd
at.
be
I've been to a
pretty
home
dope.
game. It's fucking lit, baby.
I want to see a Florida State game at home
Eh,
again. Do
that's
Tomahawk
alright.
chant.
You're stealing like all my lists, man. I'm gonna have to find like two more to go with this because you've already
Yeah,
stolen
true. A
everything,
Florida
so
State
that's
game.
fine.
Yeah, that would be a good game to go to. A Tomahawk Chant.
And an Oregon game at home because they always have dope ass uniforms.
So you just want to go for the uniforms? You can see them bitches on TV.
Yeah,
but
I
they're
don't
dope,
know about that.
I don't know about that.
If I'm traveling all the way over there, I'm going
Alright.
to the Rose Bowl.
True that.
All right,
True
Dom.
Fuck that.
Fucking hear it and get this shit over with.
Well, first of all, top place to go for me is going to be the Yankee Stadium in a playoff game because that environment is fucking insane.
I
It's
just want
not
to hear
going
him
to feel like a
shouting.
fucking baseball game. Dude, they're fucking assholes. If you were on the
just
other
wanna hear him
team, I would
chanting
fucking
the
hate.
man's name. I just want to hear him chanting the player's name. Like if Aaron Judge
Yeah.
came up.
Well, they
"Aaron
do that.
Judge."
They do that every game with roll call at the beginning of the games. They literally call out every single starting player in the lineup. But they do it obviously a lot louder in the playoffs. But they also talk a lot of shit to the other team. I've heard right fielders say it's not even like trash talk at this point. It's like legit like hate. Like they fucking just give them so much hate. Like it's just a brutal environment to play in. I think fucking Josh Reddick, is that who plays for the fucking Astros, was complaining
Yeah.
about it. He's a little pussy because he plays for the Astros. Yeah,
Astros.
he's a little bitch. He's a
Alright.
bitch. Couldn't
What's your
handle
other
it.
one?
And I would be one of the people yelling at him because he's a fucking bitch.
All right, well we can't spend fucking 2 hours talking about how the Astros are bitches. Let's go on to
Yeah,
your next
I know.
one.
We could, but we're not going to. Like
Maybe for
you said,
Wednesday.
I'd love to go to a Florida State game, but this would be a football game. That Tomahawk chant, whole crowd.
Oh yeah,
I,
you
I
have
may
to.
I may be a little biased because our high school does the Tomahawk chant, but we suck dick at doing it because we suck dick.
The Hama talk shit.
Did I say Hamatalk?
Hey, almost.
Tomahawk, boys. Tomahawk
First,
chant.
I thought you were
It's
gonna
just-
say the Holocaust chant. I was like, what the
Whoa,
fuck?
whoa,
Oh
whoa,
my
whoa.
God.
Tomahawk, man. Tomahawk.
Yeah, but
That
that would
big
be a
ass football stadium. First
It'd
of
be
all,
like-
second of all, it's in Florida. Nice weather.
For a
Hopefully, Florida
Holocaust
State's
chant,
for that
for a
time.
Holocaust chant, they would be like, Jew, Jew,
Okay,
Jew, Jew, Jew.
okay.
Let's not make Holocaust jokes. Let's just stay away from those ones because I don't think that's the greatest of ideas.
All right, what do you got
Okay,
next?
you can edit that out.
Yeah, I don't think Cole's gonna waste his time to
No,
edit it.
I'm keeping
but-
that in. I'm keeping that in.
Okay.
What do I have next? Well, let me think. Since I was gonna go off those two, but since I couldn't go into detail since Colton stole them both,
You're welcome.
Hey,
Yeah,
you can still
thanks,
say
man.
that you want to go to them.
yeah, but I need like two more. I'm gonna do like two more. Let me think. Like it's been it's tough. There's a lot of places that I want to go. I've been to a lot of places. But I would love to go to a Indiana basketball game. I've heard
True.
Assembly Hall with how small it is and how closely packed each other is, and just
Oh, but
how
you say
like.
that I can't go to a Duke game because it's fucking Dick the Dick.
Yeah, you're kind
But
of
I've
Yeah, what the
contradicting
also
fuck,
heard
dude?
there.
like the fans are just so into it. Like those games are insane.
Yeah, they are.
Assembly Hall is and it's only like a 3-4 hour drive, so it's definitely something easier I could get to.
I mean, I've been to a Northwestern game, and that place is like a high school gym too. It's crazy. Like it wasn't
Yeah,
even
it's
that
it's
loud, but
really
just
weird how small some of these places are.
oh yeah, for sure. Like the like yeah. I mean, I don't really have
All right,
much
I
to say
think
on
I
it.
got two more to go off, and you're gonna hate me for one of them, dude. You're gonna fucking hate me for one of them, but that's okay.
So
Okay.
Well,
you can
first
say
I'm
it.
gonna name LSU because fucking
Yeah.
LSU is amazing. Like that's a great place to play in. What do they call it? They call it Death Valley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Death Valley.
There's a reason it's called Death Valley, boys.
Why is
it's
that?
hot as fuck.
Well, also because it's fucking one of the hardest places to play in the country because it's so loud and just great atmosphere.
Yeah, that's a place I probably should have put on my list too. My list is pretty long.
And then, boys, I don't even know if I want to say this,
Ohio
but
State game.
no,
He's not that much of a
I'm
sellout.
I'm gonna have to go with a Clemson game.
Oh fuck no! What the hell?
Okay, never
Why
mind. I
the
take
hell
it
would
back.
Just
you ever
them
go to
running
Clemson?
down the hill at the beginning of every single game, touching
No,
the rock, and
What
then
every
just all
fucking team
those.
does.
no.
They don't run down the hill. They don't got fucking hills like
Oh,
Clemson.
sorry. You were about to say they don't touch a rock.
So
Well, they don't touch rocks either, but
you'd rather go to Clemson than Ohio State Stadium?
yeah,
Boise
dude.
State.
Clemson fans are dedicated, man. They really are.
You not see the Ohio guy all decked out every game?
I don't give a fuck.
Oh god. Yeah, that's a terrible decision to go to watch a Clemson game. Jesus.
I don't think at
Yeah.
the state. I didn't say the game in general. I was talking about the stadium.
Yeah,
It's
even the
got a nice
stadium.
tradition of touching the
No,
rock,
you
rolling
literally
down.
just said them. You said they were gonna touch the rock.
Yeah, they are gonna touch the rock. Howard's Rock. Yeah, they're gonna run
That
down.
sounds gay.
The fans are always
What
into
the
it.
hell?
Howard's
Man,
rock.
y'all can hate as much as you want. If you wanted me to list them, I list them. That's what I gave
Well,
you.
all I
Deal
gotta say
with
is
it.
that's probably your worst choice.
Yeah, that's
That's gotta be
not a
like
good one.
number 10 on your list.
You want to go watch people fucking
You rushed
touch
me into
Howard's
it. If
rock?
I would have had more time, because Colton stole mine, maybe I would have had a better one. But that's what I could think of, and that's what I
I
gave you.
mean,
So
it'd
fuck
be better
off.
if you thought of the Ohio State or Have
I
you
didn't
been to
think
a
of. I
Michigan
did think of
football?
Ohio State, and I
You
said
just want to
fuck
go
you.
watch people
Did
touch
you?
Howard's
What
rock,
about a
huh?
Michigan football?
I don't like Michigan football.
You don't like
What's
their?
that?
What about their
What?
stadium?
What's Michigan? I don't know what Michigan is.
I forget what it's called.
Better than fucking Clemson.
Um,
Oh, I'd go to Michigan State. I go to Michigan State, yeah, man. But
you haven't been to a
what's
Michigan
that?
State football game either?
No, boy.
Then yeah,
Wow,
that
what a
definitely should
fan.
have been on your.
Wow, what a fan.
Right now the atmosphere isn't great. I think about half the stadium shows up, so right now it wouldn't be the best place to go visit. So I'm gonna pass.
You think Clemson would?
Do you see how packed their stands are and how loud it gets? Yeah, I think it would be.
Oh yeah, the Big House. That's what it's called.
Well, yeah. Is it really that big anymore? I guess.
I mean,
Alright,
it's
we're getting a little
107,000
sidetracked.
Big
people.
losses to Ohio State.
Huh?
We're getting okay,
Huh?
guys. Let's not get into this.
Okay.
We're getting a little sidetracked. I think that about wraps it up, huh?
All right.
Yeah, I think we're running out of time anyway. Cole's got some editing to do and get to bed.
When do you guys want to carry out the outro then?
Tom, you did the intro.
I-
Might as well do the
I
outro.
guess I'll do the outro. So, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Once again, I'm going to plug in our social medias: Twitter, Instagram at the 4am Crew Pod. Hopefully, Instagram's changed, but then so somebody please remember that. If you're listening on YouTube, always make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on iTunes and Spotify.
Links are going
And
to be
yeah.
in the description for iTunes and Spotify.
And there will be timestamps in the. I'll put them in the comment section. So I'll put some
just put,
timestamps
no,
for all the.
they'll be in the description.
One in the description, you can't click on them like that.
Yeah, you can.
You have to
bitch.
put them in the. They'll be in
One
the.
last thing. Okay, we're getting
I'll just put 'em in
sidetracked.
bold.
We just look for the timestamps. We're getting sidetracked. One last thing. Our gaming podcast is no longer a thing. We decided it wasn't working out. Nobody was too interested. So we're just doing 2 random podcasts with the 2 sports podcasts each week. We have a new schedule for that. Cole, would you like to give them the new schedule?
Yeah, right before I give the schedule, so like Wednesday, how we have that random podcast, we'll be having that.
It's happening Wednesday.
It'll be happening Wednesday, and then it'll be happening Saturday. It's just kind of like,
Thought it was Sunday.
or Sunday, yeah, not Saturday. It's just kind of like a different kind of. Nobody was really excited for gaming, so kind of
There's just
just.
not too many topics to talk about.
And it not the gaming's just not the scene for a lot of people to watch. But we're gonna be Tuesday. We're always gonna be a recap, just like we have here. Wednesday is gonna be us talking, like how we would normally, just a
What's
random
happening
topic.
Wednesday?
Once we start getting people that want to head on, like we still have a lot of people that want to come on, possibly. That'll get switched to Wednesday's podcast, and we'll just have guests on. We'll just talk about whatever we want to talk about with our guest. Friday we'll have our preview for the weekend of sports, and then Sunday is just another podcast that well, people have said that they liked the random Wednesday podcast. It'll just be another random day of us just chatting, having a good time. Seems like people like those podcasts the best, but that's the new schedule: Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
All right.
Alright.
Well, that about wraps it up. Once again, follow us on our social medias, like and subscribe on YouTube, because some of you are forgetting to do that. Please don't forget to do that. It really helps us out. It really helps you out.
Hit that red
Good luck.
subscribe button, boys.
And
Like it.
well, I think that's we're the 4M crew, and that's our podcast. See you on Wednesday.